Hi everyone, my name is Sharmir Carter and I will be presenting the neurodevelopmental condition autism spectrum along with my partner Kagan. I will be um, presenting role A of the presentation, which is an overview of the condition. Autism spectrum disorder is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by deficits in social communication and social interactions. It also includes restricted and repetitive behaviors. Autism is known as a spectrum disorder because there is a wide variation in the type and severity of symptoms that people experience. In a later slide, I will explain the severity levels for autism spectrum disorder. Right now, there's no single cause for autism spectrum disorder, but they have done a lot of research, and some of the factors include genetics or neurobiological and environmental factors. Autism spectrum disorder is a result of hereditable genetic differences. It's also more common in boys than girls. There is no cure for autism spectrum disorder, but early interventions can take place. Some of the early interventions may include like a speech therapist or behavioral, I guess like a behavior therapist, things of that nature. While there's no cure for autism spectrum disorder, there are medications that can treat some of the symptoms like irritability, aggression, repetitive behavior, hyperactivity, attention problems, anxiety, and depression. I currently work at a psychiatric hospital, mainly with adolescent boys and girls. I currently have a child, a young lady on my caseload who is on the spectrum. She does experience each and every one of these symptoms. I don't want to say on a daily basis, but pretty often. The biggest one that we see a lot is the aggression. Once she gets upset and she gets going, it's really, really hard to bring her down and, calm her down. She does get, easily irritated and agitated. She has attention problems, not so much paying attention to, like what's going on in, say, group therapy or following directions, but she wants staff to give her their full attention 24/7. She wants to be the main focus of the staff, and when she's not, it causes a problem. So we kind of paired her with a one-to-one staff to bring some kind of resolve to that issue. She also gets very anxious. For example, if her therapist or case manager say they're going to come at 1 o'clock, they had better come at 1 o'clock, because if it's 1:01, she will start to question, where is she? She's late. Why isn't she here yet? Is she okay? Did she call? Is she still coming? So we have stopped telling her, what time somebody's coming to see her. So we just say, hey, such and such is coming to see you today. And when she asks what time, we say we don't know, because she will watch the clock all day. And if they don't come at that exact moment, it causes problems, and disrupts the milieu. So some of the DS5 diagnostic criteria: deficits in social communication and social interaction across multiple contexts. So deficits in social emotional reciprocity. So that's just like abnormal social approach and failure to normal back and forth conversation, reduced sharing of interest or emotions or affect. Deficits in nonverbal communicative behaviors range from poorly integrated verbal and nonverbal communication, abnormalities in eye contact, and body language. The young lady that I was speaking about earlier, when she's talking to you, she kind of looks all over the place, but when you're talking to her, you had better look her right in the eye, or she will not pay you any attention. So another part of criteria A is deficits in developing, maintaining, and understanding relationships. So this just means difficulty adjusting behaviors to suit various social contexts, difficulty playing or making friends, or absence of interest in peer relationships. So this young lady also has poor relationships with the peers, mainly the girls. Mainly one of the biggest things with her is she is very blunt and honest. In some situations that's good, in some situations that's not, especially when you have a milieu full of adolescent girls. She says whatever she wants and is brutally honest. So we're working with her on that, cause it causes fights and, arguments between her and her peers. Then there's other times where she could care less about even talking to a peer. She doesn't have a roommate because, of her issues with others. A few days ago, she was actually asking for a roommate. But we all knew, that was not a good idea. And, she actually came to us later in the week saying that she does not want a roommate. And we weren't going to make that happen for her anyway, because that would not be a good thing for her. So for criteria B, restrictive, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities. So stereotyped, repetitive motor movements, insistence on sameness, inflexible adherence to routine. This young lady also hates if, there's a change. If we're going to change, the schedule, it's a big deal. She has a big old come apart and she just falls apart. So she's kind of on her own schedule, just to help, ease her mind and ease the tension in the milieu. But if we come to her about the change before we make it, that usually, works out pretty good. Highly restricted, fixated interest, hyper or hyperreactivity to sensory input or unusual interest in sensory aspects of the environment is another criteria for B. And then C through E are just talking about like the symptoms. They have to be present in the early development period. They can cause clinically significant impairment. So the condition has to be significant in social, occupational, or other important areas of the current functioning. And typically, if the disturbances that the individual is experiencing can't be explained by some other kind of intellectual disability, they mainly, say that the individual is on the autism spectrum. So here are the 3 functioning levels of autism that I talked about when I first began the slide. So severity level 1 is requiring support. So when it comes to social communication, without supports in place, deficits in social communication cause notable impairments. They have difficulty initiating social interaction, and understanding clear examples of atypical or unsuccessful responses. They also appear to have decreased interest in social interactions. So for restricted, repetitive behaviors, for level 1, they have inflexibility of behavior, which causes significant interference with functioning and difficulty switching between activities. They also have problems with organization and planning independence. Level 2, the individual will require substantial support. These are deficits in verbal and nonverbal social communication skills, social impairments that are apparent, even with supports that are already in place. They have limited initiation of social interactions and reduced or abnormal responses to social overtures for others. So, for example, a person who speaks simple sentences, whose interactions is limited to narrow special interest, and who has markedly nonverbal communication. So for the restrictive repetitive behaviors, These people have difficulty coping with change, or other restricted repetitive behaviors. It's easy for them to feel distress or difficulty changing focus or action. Level 3 requires very substantial support. These are severe deficits in verbal and nonverbal social communication skills, and it causes severe impairment in functioning. So this person has few words of intelligible speech. They rarely initiate interaction. And when they do make unusual approaches to meet needs, they respond to only very direct social approaches. For restricted repetitive behaviors, they have an inflexibility of behavior, extreme difficulty coping with change, or other restricted repetitive behaviors. They have great distress and great difficulty changing focus or action. So the video that I chose that's related to autism spectrum disorder is about a young lady who is, I believe, elementary school. And it's just a short video on a day with her in school. She is easily frustrated and agitated by her work. She tends to shut down. She doesn't understand something, so it's very hard for her to stay focused. She has like a teacher aide who works with her individually. And it basically goes over like how she has like a behavior plan, or like I guess you could say like a goal sheet. So if she reaches, if she completes a certain amount of her schoolwork, then she gets to pick a prize, from the sheet of paper that they have. So if her goal is to do, 3 questions on her homework, if she does those 3 questions, then she gets to pick, a prize, which is like a snack, or she gets to play her DS. And you'll see her, taking a break from her work and playing her DS. Which is also kind of something that we do for the young lady I spoke about during this presentation. We kind of give her short-term goals to reach that help her stay focused and keep her from getting agitated and irritable. We give her something to look forward to. Like if she is on level 3 for 2 days, which is the best level that you could be on, then we'll give her 2 pieces of candy on 7 to 3 shift and 2 pieces of candy on 3 to 11 shift. Just something, a little something for her to look forward to. So I hope you enjoyed my overview of autism spectrum disorder. Thanks for watching.